Hello everybody, I am back again with the second part of the video of the chapter Bonku Babu's Friend by Satyajit Ray. In the first part, we have already seen how Bonku Babu was being tormented or insulted by the school students or by his friend circle in the friends group, and now in this part we will see the transformation in him that is brought by this supernatural creature Ang. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead with the chapter. I hope you have already followed the test questions that have been given in the part 1 of this video. In part 2, you will also get some test question. Do follow, go with the explanation, make important notes if you need it, and obviously I will provide with the notes. So without wasting any time, so let's continue with the chapter. So we move on ahead. Take care, Bonkuda warned Ramkanai. It is a moonless night, remember? And it's a Saturday. So Saturday again is auspicious to them because on this very day, Saturday, those all pranks were planned and somebody jumped on Bonku's shoulders. So very auspicious for ghosts and spooks. Everyone howled with delighted laughter. So everybody was laughing because they played a prank less than 2 months ago only. So they said this. Bonku Babu was not carrying a torch or lantern. There was no need of it, for it was too cold for snakes to be out about, and he knew this way very well. So what was the reason for Bonku Babu not carrying a lantern? Because it was too cold and snakes wouldn't show up in the cold, and mostly the second point is what? He knew the way very well. So this is also an animal imagery he uses. Snakes, cold for snakes. Normally not many people took this route, but it meant a shortcut for him. So over here, see how Satyajit Ray is using animal imagery with horror. Okay, horror and science fiction. It makes us feel that something is going to happen. कुछ तो होने वाला है. So he is taking a shortcut way. In the last few minutes, he had become aware of something unusual. He was feeling. Now comes the very important part. He was feeling that कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. At first, very important paragraph. At first, he could not put his finger to it. Somehow, things were different tonight. Put his finger means he could not identify the thing. Okay, could not identify. Put his finger means he could not identify what was wrong. Somehow, things were different. What was wrong? What was missing? Suddenly he realized what it was. The crickets were silent, very important. Not one was chirping. So the absence of sound and the cricket shows that something is going to happen. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, कुछ होने वाला है. Today there was only an eerie silence. An unusual silence was there. It was a pitch dark time, no lantern, no sound. What happened to all the crickets? Were they all asleep? Puzzled, Bonku Babu walked another 20 yards and then he suddenly saw the light. At first he thought that a fire had broken out. Bang in the middle of Poncha Ghosh's bamboo grove, in the clearing near a small pond, quite a large area was glowing pink. Okay, so this was describe the sight Bonku Babu saw at Bamboo Grove. Okay, this is the sight that Bonku Babu saw at the Bamboo Grove of Poncha Ghosh. What did he see? He saw that near the pond it was glowing pink. Excuse me. A dull light shone on every branch and every leaf. Okay, so see, glowing pink and again dull light. They are very important. What was the effect of the you can say light on Bonku Babu? What happened? He felt, and see, down below the ground beyond the pond was lit by a much stronger pink light, but it was not fire, for it was still. This full para is important. Bonku Babu kept moving. All at once his ears began ringing. He felt as if someone was humming loudly. Okay, a long steady noise. There was no one he could stop it. There was no way he could stop it. Bonku Babu broke out in those goose pimples, but excuse me, and irrepressibly curiosity drove him further forward. So he went on moving forward. Okay, as he went past a cluster of bamboo stems, an object came into view. So he could see something there. It looked like a giant glass bowl turned upside down, covering the pond completely. This shows this is an alien spaceship. It was through its translucent shade that a strong yet gentle pink light was shining out to turn the whole area radiant. So there was light coming out from that. So what was the effect of on Bonku Babu of seeing the light? See, he took a few steps to get a better look. He moved forward, but suddenly felt as an electric current had passed through his body. So this was the effect. What did the effect of light have on Bonku Babu? You see, after that what happens? He felt an electric current had passed through his body. In the next instant, very important para, he was rendered completely immobile, means he could not move. This is the full para which shows the effect on Bonku Babu of seeing the light. Okay, his hands and feet were tied with an invisible rope, as if someone has tied him. कोई बांध के रखा है, वो move नहीं कर पा रहा है. There was no strength left in his body. He could not neither move forward nor backward. एक जगह पे खड़ा हो गया है, आगे भी नहीं जा रहा है, पीछे भी नहीं जा रहा है. तो ये light का effect था. A few moments later, Bonku Babu, still fixed stiffly at the same spot, saw that the object had gradually stopped breathing. All at once, his ears ceased ringing. आवाज नहीं आ रहा है कान में, and humming stopped. Everything was stopped now. Means the GPS of the creature was now stopped. Means the sound made by the creature was stopped. A second later, a voice spoke, shattering the silence of the night. So there was a noise which was going on. Noise of, you can say, the alien or the spaceship that was stopped. Now the alien spoke up. A second later, a voice spoke, shattering the silence. It sounded human, but an extraordinarily thin. The voice of Bonku Babu, the ancient. Now comes the next part, is the creature, the look of the creature. Millipping crook, millipping crook, it said loudly. Bonku Babu jumped a little. What did it mean? What language was this? And where was the speaker? The next words the voice spoke made his heart jump again. So, what was the next word? Who are you? Who are you? Why, these are English words, was the question addressed to him. Bonku Babu swallowed. I am Bonku Bihari Datta, sir. Bonku Bihari Datta, he replied. Are you English? Are you English? The voice went on. No, sir. Bonku Bihari shouted back. Bengali, sir. A Bengali. So, Bonku Babu over here, this can be understood that Bonku Babu is, he had a good knowledge of English. Obviously, he is a school teacher, so he could understand. This was followed by a short pause. They stopped, for then the voice spoke back clearly. Namaskar. Bonku Babu heaved a sigh of relief and returning the greeting, Namaskar, he said, suddenly realizing that invisible bonds that were holding him tightly had disappeared. So now he felt that the bond जो उसको जकड़ के रखा था, हाथ पाँव हिल नहीं रहा था, it has disappeared. Now he could move. He was free to run away, but he did not run away because Bonku Babu was not afraid. Now his astounded eyes could see that a portion of the glass mound was sliding to one side, opening out like a door. So this glass means that spaceship has opened up and the door type opened. Through the door emerged a head. The description of the creature. How did the creature look? Like a plain, smooth ball. The head was like a plain, smooth ball. Then the body of a weird creature. Its arms and legs were amazingly thin, with the exception of its head. Its whole body was covered with a shiny pink outfit. Instead of ears, it had tiny holes on each side of its head. Very important para giving the description of the alien. On the face were two holes where there should have been a nose and other gaping hole instead of a mouth. There were no sign of hair anywhere. Its eyes were round and bright yellow. They appeared to be glowing in the dark. So this was the physical feature of the alien. The creature slowly walked towards Bonku Babu and stopped only a feet away. अब आके थोड़ा देर रुक गया. Then he gave him a steady, unblinking stare, a continuous stare. Automatically, Bonku Babu found himself folding his hands. तो अपने आप पे Bonku Babu का हाथ जोड़ के उसके सामने. Having stared at him for nearly a minute, it spoke in the same voice that sounded more like a flute, which shows that his voice was quite a thin one. Okay. Okay, flute than anything else. Are you human? Yes. Is this earth? Yes. Ah, I thought as much. My instruments are not working. So over here says that the GPS of the creature is not working properly. I was supposed to go to Pluto. I wasn't sure where I had landed. So I spoke to you first in the language they use on Pluto. See, over here Satyajit Ray is creating an element of humor. Okay, something of funny, element of humor. Even aliens, proving that aliens being so technologically developed, they are from other world, even they make mistake, they are not perfect. जाना था Pluto, आ गया Earth, even they are not perfect. When you didn't reply, I could tell I had landed on Earth. I a complete waste of time and effort. देखो time बर्बाद हो गया. तो over here even the aliens are making mistake. It happened once before. पहले भी ऐसे हुआ था इसके साथ. सोचो कितना बार गलती कर रहा है. Instead of going to Mars, I veered off and went to Jupiter. Mars जाने वाला था, Jupiter चला गया था. इस टाइम Pluto जाने वाला है, Earth में आ गया. Okay. Delayed me by a whole day. It did. Hey, he laughs. Okay. So Bonku Babu did not know what to say. He was feeling quite uncomfortable, for the creature had reached out and was examining Bonku Babu's arms and legs with his long bony feature. Okay, long bony fingers. Sorry. When it finished, it introduced itself. I am Ang from the planet Cranius. Very important for your MCQ, from the planet Cranius. A far super being than human. Over here, he calls himself to be a superhuman. Now we will come to know why does he call himself to be a superhuman. First, we had already seen because he could control human. The way he controlled Bonku Babu from moving, Bonku Babu's movement was stifled at one point, showing that it was just because of Ang's maybe some instrument he had. What? This creature barely 4 feet tall with such thin limbs and weird face was superior to man. So this thing is Bonku Babu thinking in his mind. He did not speak up. Bonku Babu nearly burst out laughing. Ang read his mind immediately. So there it shows his superhuman quality. Ang called himself superior than man, and this is the point where Ang shows that it was really a superhuman, means have power more than humans. There is no need to be so skeptical, means you cannot be doubtful about it. I can prove it. हम prove कर सकते कि I am more intelligent than you. I am superhuman. How many language do you know? Bonku Babu scratched his head. Bengali, English and Hindi. A little Hindi I mean. You mean 2.5? Yes, I know 14,000. So I knew 14,000 language. There isn't a single language in our solar system that I don't know. I also know 31 languages spoken on planets outside your system. I have been to 25 of them. How old are you? I am 50. So Bonku Babu's age is 50. Ang's age is I am 833. Do you eat animals? Bonku Babu had mutton curry only recently on the day of Kali Puja. How could he deny it? So he could not deny it. We stopped eating meat several centuries ago, Ang informed him. Before that, we used to eat flesh of most creatures. I might also have eaten you. So Ang said that we have stopped it eating centuries ago, but we have eaten flesh of most creatures. Even he might have eaten humans. Bonku Babu swallowed hard now. He gulped down his saliva. Take a look at this. Ang offered him a small object, just like a pebble. A small object, पत्थर के जैसा उसको दिया. It looked like a pebble. Bonku Babu touched it for an instant and felt the same electric current that passed through his body, जो पहले हुआ था. Okay, the electric current that he felt passing through his body just when he came to the field. He withdrew his hand at once and smiled. A little while ago, you could not move an inch. So this where the way where Aang shows that yes, he clears that Bonku Babu was being skeptical. He clears his doubt that see, I can prove myself. Do you know why? It was because I had this little thing in my hand. I would stop anyone from getting closer. Nothing can be more effective than this in making an enemy utterly powerless without actually hurting him physically. Very important line. This is an advice by Aang. Aang gives an advice that nothing can be more effective than this in making an enemy. You make the enemy utterly powerless. Means this is a mantra that Aang gives Bonku Babu to tell how to deal with troublemakers. Okay, how to deal with troublemakers. Now, Bonku Babu was genuinely taken back. His mind was coming out of his stunned state. Means he was quite surprised. He is coming to his senses. Aang said, "Is there any place that you have wished to visit, or a scene that you have longed to see but never could?" Bonku Babu thought, "Why, the whole world remained to be seen." मैंने कुछ ही नहीं देखा है. He taught geography, but what had he seen except a few villages, towns and village in Bengal? There was so much in Bengal itself that he had never had the chance to see. The snow-capped Himalayas, the seashore in Digha, the forest in the Sundarban. These are the sites. The forest in the Sundarbans, or even the famous banyan tree in the botanical gardens of the Shivpur. So these are some of the details that Bonku Babu gives that he wishes to see. Okay. However, he mentioned none of these thoughts. Thus, he was just thinking. He did not say it to Aang. There is so much I would like to see. He finally admitted. He said that I would like to see many things. But most of all, I would like to visit the North Pole. I come from a warm country. You see, means the way where I stay is a warm country. So at this point of time, Aang took out a small tube, one end of which was covered by a piece of glass. So it looked like this almost. I'll show you. This looked like this. This one is the picture, the glass tube which Aang took out. This one. Okay, it was just like a small tube. Move on to the chapter again. Okay. Aang took out a small tube and one end of which was covered by a piece of glass. Take a look through this. Aang invited. Bonku Babu peered through the glass and felt all his hair rise. Means he had goosebumps. Okay. Could this be true? Could he really believe his eyes? Before him stretched an endless expanse. Very important. Endless expanse of snow dotted with large hillocks, also covered with ice and snow. Above him, against a deep blue sky, all colors of rainbow were forming different patterns, changing every second. This was the Aurora Borealis. This is the northern lights. Okay, Aurora Borealis is the northern lights. They are the just dancing waves of light appear. They are, one can see them in Iceland, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Alaska, Russia. You can see them over there. What was that? An igloo. There was a group of polar bears. Wait, there was another animal, a strange, peculiar creature. Yes, it was a walrus. There were two of them in fact, and they were fighting. Their tusks were bared large as radishes, and they were attacking each other. Streams of bright red blood were flowing on the soft white snow. So, see, Bonku Babu saw everything. Okay, his wishes. He just wished. He did not even tell it to Aang. He just thought it. Just spoke about that he wanted to see the North Pole. It was December and Bonku Babu was looking at an area hidden under layers of snow. Still, he broke out into sweat. So even though it was winter and he was seeing a place of snow and he was sweating seeing all this. What about Brazil? Don't you wish to go there? Asked Aang. Bonku Babu remembered instantly. Piranhas, those deadly carnivorous fish, amazing. How did this ant know what he would like to see? Now he's thinking over here that how did he knew? So this is the portion over here. Satyajit Ray is building up the relationship between Bonku Babu and Ang. See how Ang continuously reads his mind and fulfills his dream, creating a relationship between Ang and Bonku Babu. In this part, it is creating a relation. You cannot write it over here. You can write it over here. Creating relation. This part. Only Bonku Babu peered through the tube again. He could see a dense forest. Only a little scattered sunlight had crept in through the almost impenetrable foliage, means the dry leaf. It was so much deep. There was a huge tree and hanging from a branch. What was that? Oh God! He could have never ever imagined the size of that snake, anaconda. The name flashed through his mind. Yes, he had read about it in an old issue of National Geographic magazine, which over here this states that Bonku Babu is a good reader. Okay, it was said to be much larger than a python. He read about the anaconda. Oh, there was a canal. Crocodiles lined in the banks, sleeping in the sun. One was going to go into the water. Splash! Bonku Babu could almost hear the noise, but the crocodile had jumped out of the water very quickly, with his eyes nearly popping out. Bonku Babu noted that there was virtually no flesh left on the belly of the crocodile. Okay, bones were showing through clearly. So this was what attached to the remaining flesh were 5 fish with amazingly sharp teeth and monstrous appetite. This was the piranhas, and the piranhas were killing the crocodile. It had already eaten the half flesh of the crocodile. Only bones were left near the stomach area. Now Bonku Babu could not bear to watch anymore. His limbs were trembling. His head reeled painfully, means he was feeling dizzy seeing all this thing. Now do you believe that we are superior? Ang wanted to know. Bonku Babu ran his tongue over his parched lips, means dry leaves. Yes, oh yes, certainly, of course. He croaked. He says yes. Now he cannot speak. His throat become dry. Very well, look, I have been observing you. See the way they build a relationship, and I have examined your arms and legs. He is so keen observer, Ang. You belong to much inferior species, means you are much. So these are, he is saying, see, there is no doubt about that. Okay. However, as human beings go, you are not too bad. So accordingly, as human beings are, you are not a bad person. I mean, you are a good one. But you have a major fault. You are much too meek and mild, means you are very timid. Okay, that is why you have made so little progress in life. इसीलिए तुमने जिंदगी में अपना कोई उन्नति नहीं किया. Because you cannot speak up. See, Bonku Babu did not speak anything about the injustice, about the being bullied, about being teased. But Ang knows everything. He says that you are a good person. Although human beings are inferior to us, but being a human, you are a good man. But the only thing fault in you is that you cannot speak up. You are quite timid. That is why you made little progress. You must always speak up against injustice and protest if anyone hurts or insults you. Without any provocation, without thinking anything, you must speak up. Speak up against injustice. Okay. And anyway, it was nice to have met you, although I wasn't really supposed to be here at this time. There's no point in wasting time on your earth. I would better go. See, this a moment friendship. Just few minutes with Ang, and Ang gave him the good advice. The advice over here, the question, what is the advice that Ang gave to Bonku Babu? Very important, that nothing can be more effective than making your enemy helpless. The first he said, okay, without hurting him, he tells that, it tells to take things quietly is wrong. You have to speak up against injustice. That you are tolerating everything, it is wrong. Goodbye, Mr. Ang. I am very glad to have made yours. So he did not even complete his sentence. Bonku Babu could not complete his sentence in less than a second almost before he could grasp what was happening. Aang had leapt into the spaceship and had risen over Poncha Ghosh's bamboo grove. Then he vanished completely. Bonku Babu realized that the crickets had started chirping again. It was really quite late. So again, what was the silence has succumbed and everything was noise again, everything back to the normal. Now Bonku Babu resumed walking towards his home, his mind still in wondrous haze, means still in the state of confusion. क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ, एक झटके में हो गया, तुरंत हो गया. Slowly the full implication of the recent events began to sink in, means he started thinking over and over about it and keep on understanding कि क्या क्या बोल के गया, what did Aang say. A man? No, it was not a man, it was an Aang, had come here for some unknown planet and spoken to him. How extraordinary. See, the people were saying that kahin se kuch nahi milega, they will come in Kakurgachi. Obviously he came in this other planet person came to Kakurgachi. It was quite extraordinary. How completely incredible, means it was unbelievable. There were billions of people in the world, but who got the chance to this wonderful experience? Kisko mila mauka? Bonku Bihari Datta, a teacher of geography in Bengali in the Kakurgachi village primary school. No one else. किसी को मौका नहीं मिला, मुझे मिला. I got the chance. From that day, at least in this particular matter, he was unique in the whole wide world. So the uniqueness, what made Bonku Babu unique, that he was chosen by Aang to be spoken about. Now, Bonku Babu realized that he was no longer walking with a spring in every with a spring in every step. He was actually dancing, means he was quite excited. The next day was Sunday. Very important part over here. This shows the change, the transition in Bonku Bihari's behavior, the transition in Bonku Babu's behavior from this part. Very important part, the way Aang changes him. The next day was Sunday. Everyone had turned up for their usual meeting at Sripati Babu's home. There was a report in the local paper about a strange light, but it was only a small report. This light had been seen by a handful of people in only 2 places in Bengal. It was therefore being put in some category as sightings of flying saucers. Okay, this was given the report, flying saucers. Tonight, Poncha Ghosh was also present at the meeting. He was talking about his bamboo grove. All the bamboos and pond in the middle of the wood had lost all their leaves. Okay, so in the bamboo grove, all the leaves in the middle was lost. It was not unusual for leaves to drop off in winter, but for so many plants to become totally bare overnight was certainly a remarkable occurrence. This was unusual. Okay, in winters trees do shed their leaves, but totally overnight एक ही दिन में सब एक साथ झड़ जाना, this is quite unusual. Everyone was talking about it when suddenly Bhairav Chakrabarti said, "Why is Bonku so late today?" Everyone stopped talking. So far, no one had noticed Bonku Babu's absence. See, Bonku Babu was absent. Nobody noticed even that. I don't think Bankam will show his face here today. Didn't he get an earful yesterday when he tried to open his mouth? कल जब वो बात करना चाहता, उसको अच्छा सबक सिखाए थे, अच्छा बात सुनाए थे ना. He get to hear a lot of things. तो इसीलिए आज वो आज मुंह नहीं खोलेगा, आज नहीं आएगा. Said Nidhi Babu. No. Sripati Babu sounded concerned. We must have Bonku. Bonku को तो होना ही चाहिए. Ram, can I go and see if you can get hold of him? जाओ देखो तो जाके लेके आओ. Go and bring him. उसको अगर मिले तो, means over here they are lacking amusement. They think Bonku Babu as an element of amusement. Okay, I'll go as soon as I have had my tea, replied Ram Kanai, and was about to take a sip when Bonku Babu entered the room. Now you can see the change in Bonku Babu. Totally opposite to his character, whatever is seen. No, to say entered would be wrong. It was as if a small hurricane swept inside in the guise of a short, dark man, throwing everyone into stunned silence. So this entry to that day's entry was different from the other. It was not an entry. He just entered like a hurricane. He swept in like a hurricane, came very fast in disguise of a short and dark man. A hurricane came and everybody was surprised at his entrance. Then it swung into action. Then he came into action. Bonku Babu burst into a guffaw, means a large, loud, hearty laugh, ha ha ha, and laughed uproariously for a whole 1 minute. So Bonku Babu was laughing. It is quite opposite to his character. Okay, the like of which no one had heard before, not even Bonku Babu himself. Bonku Babu himself have not heard himself laughing in this way. So this was a very unlikely opposite character of Bonku Babu's life. When he could finally stop, he cleared his thought and began speaking. Friends, I have great pleasure in telling you that this is the last time you will see me at your meetings. The only reason I am here today is simply that I would tell you a few truths before I go. So over here, Bonku Babu is all ready to speak up and go with the advice of Ang. Number one, this is for all of you. You all speak a great deal of absolute rubbish. Mark it down. Very important. Absolute rubbish. Only idiots talk of things they don't know anything about. Okay. Number two, this is for Chandi Babu. At your age, hiding other people's shoes and umbrellas is just childish, but also totally stupid and wrong. So over here, he knew that Chandi Babu was the one who used to hate shoes and umbrellas. So he says that it is a very childish, not only childish, but it is a wrong thing. Kindly return my umbrella and brown canvas shoes to my house tomorrow. See the way Bonku Babu gives answers, prompt answers. He is no more quiet. Nidhi Babu, if you call me Bankam, I should call you Nitwit. Foolish. Nitwit is foolish. And you must learn to live with that. And you have to adjust with that name. So this is the transformation in Bonku Babu's personality. Just notice the transformation, the way he is transformed. And Shripati Babu, you're an important man. Of course, you must have chamchas. Okay, psychophans. But let me tell you, from today you cannot count me out. Means you cannot take me as one of your chamchas. You cannot humiliate me. You cannot make fun of me, or rather you cannot use me as an element of fun. If you like, I can send you my cat to you. हम अपना बिल्ली को भेज देंगे. It is quite good at licking feet. And oh, you are here as well, Poncha Babu. Let me inform you and everyone else that last night an ant arrived from the planet Cranius and landed on the pond in your bamboo grove. We had a long chat. The ant was most amiable, means he was quite friendly. Okay, amiable, friendly and pleasant nature. Bonku Babu finished his speech and slapped Bhairav Chakravarti's back so hard that he choked. Remember, Bhairav Chakravarti also slapped his back, okay, very rudely. So he just given him the same back. Then he made his exit, striding out. Striding means just taking long steps, okay, with us and a specific, and bounced out, and a whistle. His eyes were sparkling, his head held high, means he got courage, he got confidence. With this, he shattered you can say, their attitude of the others. In the same instant, the cup fell from Ramkanai's hand, shattering to pieces and splattering hot tea on most of the others. See how it shows. Shattering to pieces is important over here. Shattering to pieces of the cup over here signifies that shattering the fact these people thought themselves to be self-importance. Their self-importance, their arrogance have been shattered. Bonku Babu, by the end of the chapter, took his revenge by humiliating them. So, the other question that you can get over here is that justifying the title of the story is very important one that can come over here, excuse me. And the other is the theme of friendship that has been built up in this story. The theme of friendship which have been built up in the story and justifying the title of the story. With this, we come to the end of the chapter. All other notes and everything will be given to you all once you all ping me in the comment section. So with this, we come to the end of the chapter. So what we come to know is the main theme of this chapter is the theme of friendship. The friendship between Ang and Bonku Babu. And with the power that he got from this friendship, he just shattered the self-importance, the arrogance of those people who had. The way he took his revenge, the way he humiliated them, like he had once received. Like once Bonku Babu had received the humiliation, he gave it back to them. So this is all about the chapter. I have provided the test question while going through the chapter. I hope you all have noted it down. More notes will also be provided. Do comment me and I'll come up with the new chapter again. So for the time being, tada, bye bye, take care and keep studying.